Hi, how you doing, guys? Today I'm going to just talk to you briefly about vitamin D because I have some questions about when I said that vitamin D is not really a vitamin and that vitamin D is also a hormone, but it's not really a hormone. Then what is it? Is it a vitamin? Is it a hormone? Why do I need it for? Is it true that in the milk there is no vitamin D? How is it that we have vitamin D? What is actually a hormone? What does a hormone do? What is actually an steroid hormone or an steroid protein? Well, those things we are going to talk about. Besides that, later on, I'm going to talk about receptors in our body cells. Not today, but I'm going to talk about it as more thing that vitamin D does to the huge multifunction of our perfect human body that we still don't know. I hope you like this. Okay, guys, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about how is that our body produce vitamin D. Before we start saying that, let me just tell you that they call it vitamin D, but in reality, it's not even a vitamin. It works as a vitamin. Vitamin is breaking down into vital as life, amine as an amino acid, which is like the building block of proteins, how to make proteins, all right, in a specific arrangement. And it also works as a hormone, but it's not a hormone. It is amazing. Vitamin D, which they put the name vitamin D, and I'm going to tell you why they put the name vitamin D. Okay, so if you see here, from the sun, it emits ultraviolet B rays. It also makes type A. Type A ultraviolet is the one that causes cancer. That could easily go through many things. That is very strong to glass. If you're driving and it's hitting you from this side, you will notice at the end of the day that this side is more inflamed and also it looks more older. It damages your skin. All right. So what the sun does, it accelerates aging, and that's why you have to use some blockers. But at the same time, it produces ultraviolet B. That is the good one. But these ultraviolet B rays not easily penetrate to glass. So even if you're in your house and you see that the sun is coming through the window, your skin will not be able to absorb ultraviolet B because they're not going to go through glass. But yes, type A, it will. So you may be thinking, I'm being motivated. I'm getting my vitamin D stimulation because the sun is coming through my window. Not the ultraviolet B. You need to be outside receiving between 10 to 15 minutes of the really direct ultraviolet B rays so that you stimulate something that is called, if you see here, it's called 7-dehydrocholesterol. When the ultraviolet B hit the skin, this 7-dehydrocholesterol, which is made from cholesterol, and let me just say, because I talk about hormone, we have two types of hormones. One is an steroid hormone and one is a protein hormone. So vitamin D it comes from an steroid hormone, from cholesterol. So when this ultraviolet B hits this 7-dehydrocholesterol, it will actually flow into the bloodstream. It is in the liver, that the liver has an enzyme, and you know that a substance, a molecule, most likely is an enzyme because it ends up in, like you see here, in ASE. So the liver that has, it only looks one here, but in reality there are 7 lobes in the liver. Okay, in the liver, this enzyme 25-hydroxylase will add a hydroxy group, like you see here, okay, to this vitamin D. Normally, a carbon has 4 covalent bond. Let's say it has a hydrogen here, and hydrogen here, and over here it will put a hydroxy group. So what the liver does is that it adds to the 7-hydroxycholesterol, okay, to specifically what we call cholecalciferol, it adds a 25 hydroxy group, and then these will go into, again, the whole bloodstream, and it is at the kidneys that before it used to believe that it was only at the kidneys, but also the immune system has another enzyme known as 1-alpha hydroxylase. Is this 1-alpha hydroxylase that will activate this inactive form into the active form known as 1,25-D hydroxy vitamin D. It is amazing, not only in the kidneys but also in the immune system. It happens to be also that when we eat substances like corn syrups that has fructose, that has what is known as 24 hydroxylase, which is another enzyme that inactivate already the activated vitamin D. So in another word, when we eat something that is high in corn fructose, it contains something that will block, it will inactivate the active vitamin D. So sugar is not good for you. High fructose, which is a lot of sugars on it, is not good for you. So once again, you have heard that if you drink milk, that you have a lot of vitamin D inside milk. Well, it's not true. Well, it is true. But what happens is that in the milk, they add vitamin D. And they call it vitamin D. Can you imagine if they put in the gallon of milk that what they have inside is an steroid cholesterol hormone? Do you think that people will buy that? No. So in terms of that, they changed the name to vitamin D. It's not a vitamin, but it's vital to live. Why? Because we need the vitamin D for the calcium to be absorbed in the intestines. It is amazing. We also need calcium for what? We need calcium for muscle contraction. We need calcium for blood clotting. We need calcium for neurotransmitters, for cells to communicate from one signal, sending one signal to another. Besides the immune system, which helps you and me to protect against bacteria. Yes, so vitamin D is not only good for bones, it's also good for many things. I'm going to talk about the receptors that we found in many parts of the body, in which we have receptors, specifically vitamin D receptors, that will help you and me into many more things. That is something else that we are going to talk about. But I want you to understand that vitamin D is stimulated by cholesterol through the sun ultraviolet B rays. If we are not exposed to sun, to the ultraviolet B, we're not going to have that. And that is one of the reasons why many people have low levels of vitamin D, because they are not getting it activated. So you have to get it in the form of nutrients, supplementation. Like there are things that they call it vitamin D2, they call it vitamin D3, they call it calcidiol, they call it cholecalciferol, and they also call it calcitriol. So there are many names when you go and you buy vitamin D. What you need to know is that the easiest way to be exposed to the sun, 10 to 15 minutes, that will stimulate the conversion or the activation of 7-cholecalciferol or 7-dehydrocholesterol into the precursor of vitamin D, and that will go into the bloodstream, and then the liver will activate into something else, and then it will go into our immune system, the white blood cells or the kidneys, and they will really activate our vitamin D into what we needed to be used for. But when you are obese, when you eat high corn syrups, high sugar nutrients, it will inactivate your vitamin D. Besides that, it also, there is a gene in your chromosome, in my chromosomes, that if it's changed or altered, it will also contribute to low vitamin D in your circulation, in your blood system. This is more than what people used to think, that vitamin D is only good for bones. And that is the reason why when you're trying to look for what quantity of vitamin D should you take, many of you think that what we have in the market as 8,000 or 50,000 or 10,000 or 3,000 is good for your consumption. But so I want you to understand that the literature that we have basically is for bone absorption, not for immune system or for other purposes that the actual vitamin D does. One way that you will never go wrong is taking every day at least 4,000 international units of vitamin D. You will not go wrong, you will not get intoxicated. There have not been a case showing that you taking 4,000 of international units will get you intoxicated in vitamin D. All right? I hope you like it, and I hope you understood what I said. Once again, thank you. Please subscribe to my channel, share this, make comments, ask me to do whatever you want me to find out about science, okay? And remember, I believe in God. I believe we were a creation by a designer, a perfect design. Thank you, and God bless you.